Stories for Lost Musicians presents The Final Song. What if your last chance to perform came with no return address? A forgotten guitarist opens an envelope marked only with the words, "Your Final Song." In a world obsessed with live moments that cannot be streamed, he is about to learn what being there really means. But who sent the invitation, and what will happen when he plays? The envelope was small and pale. It lay on the floor, caught under the edge of the door, like it had been waiting there for days. There was no return address, and the stamp looked old, slightly blurred, like something sent from a place that did not exist anymore. He turned it over once, twice, then opened it with the edge of a knife. Inside there was a single card, 3 words, written in calm, even handwriting, "Your Final Song." He read the words again, and then again. They did not sound like a threat or a farewell. They felt more like an echo that had finally found him. He left the card on the table and made coffee. The smell filled the small apartment, sharp and bitter. He drank half the cup and poured the rest away. The guitar stood in the corner. The day moved slowly. He smoked by the window and watched the street below. People walked with umbrellas, even though it was not raining. The bakery closed early. The light dimmed behind clouds that did not know what they wanted to do. When night came, he tried to sleep, but could not. He lay awake, hearing a refrigerator hum and the city breathing outside. The card was still on the table. He could almost feel it watching him. He thought about throwing it away, but did not move. Instead, he turned on his side and watched the slow movement of light from the street, tracing the outline of the guitar cases against the wall.
Dust on the strings, the room stands still. Years without sound, awaiting well. One chord breaks, the dark apart. 3 words beating in his heart. Your final song, your final song. It waited where it's been all along. No crowd, no light to belong. Only the echo of your final song. Hands out of practice, ghosts in the wood. He plays what he can, not what he should. The air feels wrong, but he goes on. Slow as a prayer, your final song. Your final song, your final song. It waited where it's been all along. No crowd, no light to belong. Only the echo of your final song. Your final song, your final song. It waited where it's been all along. No crowd, no light to belong. Only the echo of your final song. Only the echo of your final song. 3 words, still here, still yours.
The next morning he opened one of the cases. Dust lifted into the air and caught the light like smoke. The clasps clicked, small and tired. Inside, the guitar looked older, its color faded, and the strings dull. He sat down and touched the wood. It felt cold, unfamiliar. He tuned the strings one by one, slowly and without aim. The sound was rough at first, then steadier. He played a single chord, and it startled him. The sound did not come out clean, but it was real. He tried again, and then again, until the notes began to connect. His fingers hurt, and the skin on his thumb split slightly, but he did not stop. After a while, he found a small pattern, 4 notes that looped together, forming something that almost sounded like breathing. He played it again and again, until the sound felt less like a song and more like memory trying to remember itself. When he stopped, the room was quiet in a way it had not been before. He closed the guitar case and rested his hands on it. Then he sat for a long time, staring at nothing. That night he dreamed of a stage. There was no sound, just the weight of light pressing down. He stood there with his guitar, unable to play. The audience was faceless, waiting. When he woke, his fingers were still moving, small and tense, as if they would kept playing in his sleep. On the third morning, another envelope appeared under the door. Same handwriting, same weight, same quiet patience. He opened it. The Orpheum, Friday, 9 p.m. He stared at the name until it began to lose meaning. He had played there once many years ago. That night had been the last before he stopped. He did not ask himself what this new letter meant. He simply began to clean the guitar. He changed the strings and wiped the wood with a cloth that smelled faintly of the past. Each movement felt like rebuilding something small and necessary. When the work was done, he did not play. He left the guitar open on the bed and sat across from it, just looking. The air seemed to hold its breath. He left the apartment the next morning, carrying the guitar in its case. The weight of it across his shoulder felt heavier than before, but familiar. The air outside smelled of wet pavement and burned coffee. He walked without hurry, passing the same corner store, the same bus stop, the same stray cat that always watched him without moving. At the park, he sat on a bench and watched pigeons move like scattered notes, rising and falling without pattern. He thought about his old band, 3 of them still alive, maybe. They had not spoken in years. He wondered if they would recognize him. He doubted it. He walked past a record store he used to visit. The windows were covered in posters, faded and half torn. Behind the glass, the shelves were empty. His first album had once sat in that window, propped up on display. Now only dust looked back. He kept walking and ended up at a diner. He ordered coffee, changed his mind, and asked for tea instead. He did not drink it. The waitress smiled out of habit and refilled someone else's cup. By the time he left, the day had already started to fade. The streetlights came on one by one, humming softly. He watched them as he walked, thinking about stages, about lights rising before the music started. At home, he placed the guitar on the bed again. He played the same 4-note loop he would found earlier, and it came easier this time. The rhythm was smoother, the notes blended. He played until his shoulders ached, and the sound began to fade into his breathing. When he finally stopped, the air in the room seemed full, as if the sound had not gone anywhere at all. Friday arrived with a dull sky and a wind that moved the curtains in slow waves. He dressed without hurry, checked his pockets twice, and left. The Orpheum stood between 2 buildings that had been abandoned long before he would quit playing. The old marquee was missing half its letters. The doors were unlocked. Inside, the lobby smelled of dust and velvet. The ticket booth was empty, and the lights hummed softly overhead. He walked down the long corridor until the sound of his steps turned hollow. The stage was waiting. The spotlights were dim but alive, their glow soft as candlelight. Rows of seats stretched into the dark, perfectly still. He opened the case and lifted the guitar. The weight settled against his body like it remembered where it belonged. He adjusted the strap, tuned by instinct, and waited for the silence to settle. Then he played. The first note drifted across the room and came back slower. He played another, and an echo filled the space like a tide. He closed his eyes and let his hands move the way they wanted. The melody came in fragments at first, then began to build. He did not think about rhythm or form. He just played. The sound became a kind of language, one he had once known well. He felt the air change. It was as if the theater itself had started to breathe with him. He played until the strings felt warm under his fingers, until every sound seemed to fold into itself. Then he stopped. The last note hung there for a long time, trembling like a light that could not decide whether to go out. He stayed still, listening to what was not there. No applause. Then he unplugged the cable and set the guitar down. Still no reaction. Was there an audience at all?
Lights rise, all the room can breathe. Every sound a ghost that never leaves. No applause and nothing to prove. Only the truth. He cannot be moved. Play the last note, let it stay. Don't turn around, don't fade away. Every echo knows his name. Every silence feels the same. Strings are trembling under his hands. Time folds tight where he stands. The stage remembers, though the crowd is gone. Still the sound keeps moving on. Play the last note, let it stay. Don't turn around, don't fade away. Every echo knows this name. Every silence feels the same. Play the last note, let it stay. Don't turn around, don't fade away. Every echo knows this name. Every silence feels the same. Fears dissolve inside the tone. Each vibration cuts the bone. One last breath, a quiet hum. He plays until the end has come. No one calls, no curtain drawn. The sound remains when he is gone. The last note stays, it never fades. Strings are trembling under his hands. Time folds tight where he stands. The stage remembers, though the crowd is gone. Still the sound keeps moving on. Play the last note, let it stay. Don't turn around, don't fade away. Every echo knows his name. Every silence feels the same. Play the last note, let it stay. Don't turn around, don't fade away. Every echo knows this name. Every silence feels the same.
He closed the case, latched it, and stepped away. The hallway behind the stage was narrow and cold. He found a small mirror near the exit and caught his reflection under a flickering light. He did not look older. He washed his hands in the sink and dried them on his sleeve. Then he took the case and pushed the door open. Outside, snow was falling in thin, quiet lines. He walked through the alley, the case bumping gently against his leg. The air smelled of iron and smoke. When he reached the street, he stopped under a light. The snow caught in his hair and melted before it could stay. He looked down at his hands and realized they were empty. The case was gone. He turned back, expecting to see it a few steps behind him. He thought about going back, but did not move. He stood there, breathing in the cold. He felt no fear and no surprise, just a strange, quiet relief, like something had finally gone where it belonged. He walked toward the corner, slower now, and the snow softened the sound of his steps. The bus passed, but did not stop. He did not raise his hand. He crossed the street and followed the river instead. The water was black and slow, carrying the reflection of lights that shimmered and broke apart with each wave. He walked until he reached the bridge and leaned on the railing. He thought of all the nights he had played, and all the ones he had not. He thought of the letter, the empty theater, the silence that had followed him home. He reached his building close to midnight. The hallway smelled faintly of dust and heat. He pushed the door open and saw something on the floor. A new envelope, same paper, same handwriting. He opened it carefully, though he already knew what it would say. 2 words, "Thank you." He placed it on the table beside the first one and sat down. He did not open the guitar case. There was no case to open. He made tea and stood by the window. The city lights flickered in the snow, small and uncertain. In the distance, he could almost see the faint glow of the theater sign, the last few bulbs that still worked. He imagined the stage empty again, waiting for its next sound, waiting for whoever would come next. He turned off the light. The apartment sank into quiet, but it did not feel empty. The silence was full, like a breath that had not been released yet. He sat on the bed and held the last envelope, tracing the letters with his thumb. The ink was slightly raised, as if it had been written by hand, carefully, by someone who knew the weight of small things. He placed it on the nightstand and lay back. Morning came without sound. The light slid through the blinds, slow and colorless, touching the floor before it reached the bed. The air was still, too still for breath. He lay on his side, one hand resting near the letter. The paper had curled slightly in the night. Beside the bed, where there had been nothing before, stood the missing guitar case, closed, quiet, waiting. No one would ever know when it returned. Maybe it had never truly left. The room carried the faint scent of varnish and winter air. Nothing moved except the thin trail of steam rising from a cup left half full. He had gone sometime in the dark, without struggle, without sound, not taken, not lost, just finished. Outside, the snow began to melt, running in thin silver lines along the edge of the street. No one in the building noticed anything unusual. The world kept its rhythm. But in that room, the air still hummed faintly, as if the last note refused to die. It was the sound of his final song.